So did you know that for almost the past 2 years, Israel and Iran have apparently been in some sort of shadow war where they have been launching missiles and or attacking each other's cargo shipping in the Arabian Sea? Well, I'm not surprised if you've never heard of anything like this, because when I had a quick search on some of Canada's top news websites, I could find literally nothing about this. I went on the CBC website, absolutely nothing. Went on the CTV website, absolutely nothing. Went on the Global website, absolutely nothing. Nothing recent, nothing about these attacks. Now, for someone who follows a lot of Middle Eastern news, this is obviously not new to me, and I hadn't really ever thought about discussing it because I had assumed that this was some, footnote. I mean, again, it hasn't evolved into some really large story as of yet, but it obviously has the potential. And I thought, all right, it's just kind of out there, and we'll leave it alone for now. But after looking and realizing that not a single major news outlet in this country is talking about it, I thought I would bring you the information because that's what we are all about and what I try to be all about here as well, bringing you that information that you're probably not getting from other sources. So, what is this all about? What is going on? So, as I mentioned in the opening here, the attacks seem to be going on between Israel and Iran where they are deploying mines or shooting missiles at each other's ships. Now, again, this has been going on since approximately 2019. According to some U.S. officials, Israel has hit many ships taking on Iranian oil, possibly 12 vessels in the past little bit. So that's not an insignificant number of ships. But why is that important, and why should Canadians care about this? Well, it's important, obviously, because Middle Eastern flare-ups are often not confined to the Middle East. The Middle East is a very interesting region, shall we say, and things that happen there often don't stay confined there. You can probably remember if you're old enough for my time, but obviously learn about it if you remember the Arab oil embargoes after the Yom Kippur War in 1973, which sparked a lot of the oil crisis then, and stagflation, something that people thought could never happen. Now, that also makes sort of in effect today because of the way that a lot of oil is transported out of the Middle East, and that is through the Persian or Arabian Gulf, whatever you want to call it, into the Gulf of Oman. So you can see here on the map, a lot of shipping has to go from Saudi Arabia, from a lot of these oil producing countries, through a very, very small passage that connects the Persian Gulf, Arabian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman. And there is just a constant fear that this area, which is called the Straits of Hormuz, there's a constant fear that Iran will place mines there or will just shoot missiles at ships. And so this is something that has some potential, again, to really spiral out of control. Now, the attacks have so far been relegated to Iranian shipping or so-called Israeli-owned shipping, so it's not necessarily Israeli ships, ships that might be owned by an Israeli, which have been attacked. But again, if we're talking about ships that are owned by someone that has some connection, something like this, it's very easy to see that expanding. Now, again, how is that going to affect Canada? Not only does Canada import a good percentage of its oil from Saudi Arabia, we actually imported 16% of our oil from Saudi Arabia, according to the latest figures that I found on the Government of Canada website. So not an advocacy group, not some sort of oil advocacy group. This is the Government of Canada stating that in 2019, we imported 16% of our oil from Saudi Arabia. Now, of course, there's reasons to be mad about that when you're talking about Trans-Canada pipelines. And I don't just mean the actual Trans-Canada pipeline, just literally Trans-Canada pipelines. So that's a separate issue. But, importing 16% of our oil and then facing a possible shutdown of the sea lanes from Saudi Arabia to here, that could obviously have a huge effect. But it also could have a huge effect in terms of just general shipping costs. When ships are getting attacked, insurance prices go up. Ships might have to take different routes. That could take longer. That could affect costs. And so these things, again, are multifaceted, something that I think we really need to be paying attention to. And I'm just really quite shocked that no major Canadian outlet is talking about it. But I'm glad that we here are talking about it. And so, I'd really like to see what you guys think about these type of things. What kind of news would you like me to unpack for you? What do you think about this latest thing? Do you have the fear that this could develop into a larger situation, or where do you think this type of thing is going to go with regards to Iran? They have, again, a shadow war with Israel, apparently. There's also a shadow war with Saudi Arabia, and the ongoing conflict in Yemen. So there's a lot of stuff that I could unpack, stuff that I'd love to be able to share with you. But what do you guys think? What would you really like to see? And, what do you guys think generally about the Middle East and Canada? What type of coverage would you guys like to see? Be happy to bring that for you. So for True North, I'm Sam Ashkenazi. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed and learned something, and have yourselves a great day.